Hello. Once again, this is Danny, and as I've told y'all before, I in permanent bondage. I can't get them off. Same thing on wrists and ankles. So what I'm gonna tell you this time is it's a little darker. I keep telling you I'm keep going a little darker each time, and this one is about submissives. That is, people that have chosen to become a slave or to serve their dom or their master. So this is the way this one's going to go out. Now, first thing right off the bat I can think of would be like, I don't know if any of you is familiar with pony play, pony girls, pony boys, the competitions in there. They're submissives. They have turned around and, like I said, they have a dom, and it could be anybody. Like I said, this is not a male or a female thing. Any gender, any race, any creed, you name it. Same thing for the slave, the one that's being submissive. It could be any race, any gender. But anyway, they turn around, and for their own reasons, some need to serve like this. I don't understand all of them, and I'm sure they probably don't understand themselves, some of them. But anyway, each one of them is doing this of free will. They're not being forced into anything. And here's where it gets dark. This is another one of those things that is way down deep. In order to play any of these kind of games, there's got to be millions and millions and millions of dollars involved. And these people got free access to it. And like I said, you can just dig till you could dig from now on. You'll never find out about it. Because let's say you're a dom and you've got 6 or 8 of your pony girls that's going to compete in a competition. Well, you may be competing against a senator that's got his own stable full of pony girls or pony boys that you're going to be competing against. Yeah, a senator, you know, one of them guys you voted that sits up there in Congress. He may be one of the biggest players. So once again, it gets harder and harder to trace them. You can't. They disappear. And that gives you an idea why you can't never trace them. That's a pretty good security there, having part of them that are a big part in this, that is your politicians. You better believe there's more than one. So here's the way, more or less, it works. For whatever reason, the submissive agrees and becomes whatever. Now, it doesn't necessarily got to be pony play or something like that. I just picked that because that just, come into my mind right quick. There are all kinds of slave and slave training games out there. All of them's got a dom, and it may be entertaining just people and friends. Your job may be just to walk around in your high heels, buck naked, and serve them drinks. And if one of them wants to service you, you bend over and let them. That's what you're there for. You're being submissive to your master. So, it's done everywhere with these kind of parties. If it makes your dom happy, you're a hat rack. Take everybody's hats, but don't move. And if one of them decides they want to do something else while you're standing there being a hat rack, you'll probably say after they're finished, "Thank you, sir, may I have another one?" So that's what I'm talking about, submissives. These are not people forced into it. These are people for some reason that desire it. And it is just as big and dark as what I've told y'all about over there. Like, I got into it, and that's just one type. I've already told y'all about them dangerous training collars. That's another type of it. This is just a third one. You know, it's a different type. This is submissive. So it's not just, you know, pony play. It's just a regular submissive thing where you've got a dom. Like I said, always there's going to be a dom, the dominant one, the boss, the master. And there's going to be the slave, the subservient. And this is what this is about. It's out there. It really exists. And for their own reasons, like I said, I don't know, they have all chose this type of life. Now, you can usually spot them rather easily. Almost every one of them will have a ring or shackle hanging out of their nose. Doms like to lead their slaves around. The other thing is, almost every one of them, if they're female, has breast augmentation. They're going to have big silver rings coming out of their breast. Or some colors, they may be gold, you know. But if you look at that normal little ball thing that you see, like at a tattoo parlor, they pierce somebody's nipples. Well, it's not going to have that little ball. That little ball is going to be inside their breast where nobody can get to it, where it's not being stuck out there, interfering with anything. They're going to hang on them rings. And like if they're doing pony play, there's going to be bells on them and no telling what else. And it's up to imagination if they're into something else, some other type of deal with their, you know, it's whatever the dom wants, they're going to do. And they've had the best care. They've had the finest plastic surgeons, is the ones that put the stuff in. You know, they've had the best of care. Money's not an option. The dom will pay, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get them fixed up like they want. And that's what they do. And it could be that. Some of them may have picked scarification. They may have scars put all over their body where they branded them. And there's been a doctor right there the whole time. He's made sure there's no infection. They're healing up okay. The whole routine, they got the finest of care. But when it's over with, they got that mess on them, you know, till the day they die. There ain't no getting rid of a third-degree burn scar. You know, when it's there forever. And a lot of them, you know, going to have this kind of stuff. Like some of those doctors get a little carried away and they put on, like I said, let's say a nose shackle. Or they'll put on the, you know, the rings to the breast or something. And they do it and they try to exceed themselves where they would be just about impossible for even them to remove them. So they're going to have those things. If they live to be 90, they're going to be a 90-year-old woman running around, let's say, that's got them rings coming out of her breast. She's stuck with it. So anyway, that's another kind of permanent seal bondage. It's out there. It really is. And they volunteer for it. I don't even know if that'd be considered any kind of a crime since they're doing it willingly. You know, you got me, I don't know how you would work on that. I just know one thing, the law would never find out because it runs down too deep with too many powerful people, and they'd never get to the end of it. Eventually, somehow, they would get stopped. Like I said, these people are down deep. They don't answer to the law. They don't answer to anything but what they want. They're in control, not anyone else. And they control their slaves, their submissives, whatever. Like I said, and they're not going to relinquish that power. That's what is their thing. So what I'm warning you about is that's out there. Don't get hung up into it. You can get into, you know, playing bondage, this or that, and next thing you know, you're in with a dark group. And they're going to turn you plumb around, especially if you like playing the submissive. That's kind of like, you know, opening the door wide open for them. Don't be surprised when you wake up and you're branded from one end to the other and got steel all over your body you can't remove. And you can't do anything you want to do. You're going to have to be submissive to your dom, because that's what you swore to do. And if you break one of those oaths, I don't know, you could disappear. They're powerful enough and they're hid well enough. And they got the people covering for them. It's that powerful. So it gets back down to kind of like that, you know, the training collar. That once it's done, it's done. I wouldn't back out on the deal. You're liable to, you know, 100 years from now, they'd be digging around somewhere and find some corpse that's still wearing steel. So it's stuff's out there, and they're always hunting new slaves. So you people look out, or you may end up into something like that and never realize it till it was too late. And then the rest is pain, surgery, body modification, Lord only knows what else. So that's what this one was all about. It's simply another form of permanent steel bondage. Only thing is, this time it's cause the person wanted to be in it, and it chose to be. Not that they were made to. They made themselves do it. So that's out there. And if you're the least bit submissive, you know if you are or not by your nature, because you've been that way your whole life. But if you're submissive, really look out, because there's people looking for you. And they will find you. And that's about it for this one. I got even darker coming up. So keep watching. Like I said, this is just a submissive one. We're gonna get in some really dark stuff later. And all of it, like I said, it's gonna have permanent steel bondage in them, because they put that stuff on all of them. They're all permanently in steel, been put in it. They can't get it off. You know, it's part of the game. And I've got into the nice restraints and stuff. I hadn't even talked about the rings that's been surgically put through their wrist or through the tendons in the back of their ankle. You know, you reach above them bones and you squeeze that tender. You can feel all them muscles and tendons. Well, there is a bunch of people running around that's got steel rings coming out of that area, out of their foot. That's their restraint. So that's, like I said, it's going to get a lot darker later. Wait till I get into some of that stuff with you. If you're like me, you probably want to go run and hide. That's what I've been saying and have done for years. I've just now got where I'm bold enough to start telling people, and I think that reason is because right now I'm 59, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here any way you look about it. And I was thinking, if I'm going to do anything, maybe I can save one person from getting in this mess and escaping it. So that's my reason for doing it. Like I said, I didn't escape it. I got hung, collared, all in what I think is one night. It could have been over a 2-day period. But I was out cold when they put the stuff on me. And it's still there, and I've tried everything to get it off. It's still going to stay. So, you know, I got to live with that. And the pain it involves. You talk about them ankle cuffs, them dang things hurt you all the time. Especially if you bang one on the side of the bathtub. Man, that's like hitting your ankle with a sledgehammer. So that stuff's there too. Like I said, everybody that's in bondage has got to be able to take care of their stuff. So anyway, that's all for this one. This is on submissives. And keep your eyes open. You don't want to get into that either. And this is Danny until I decide to drop the next one on you. Goodbye, and y'all be careful. Bye-bye.